is how to harmonize our instinct and our intuition. Harmonize instinct. And intuition. And when we say harmonize, what we mean is internally, within our own, the being, harmonizing these two vital functions. Internally, with each other. And secondly is externally, harmonizing both of them with our universe and nature at large. Okay? So before we take a look at practical ways of doing that, let me ask you, what is instinct and what is the intuition? Are they the same? Are they different? If so, how same? If not, how different, please? Anyway. Yes, Rob?
Well, intuition is based on feelings and things and your experiences in the past and not anything material. And instinct is just a quick reflex almost reaction.
Okay. Okay, does everybody agree with that?
Well, I think that instinct is, I agree with that, it's animalistic, that everybody has it, including the animals. But intuition, I don't know if animals have that quality. So I think it's an intellectual quality.
So she's thinking the instinct is more basic, is that right, Marie?
Fundamental, yeah, to
our survival.
Correct, yeah.
And that instinct is shared with all animals. And human beings, right? We have. But that intuition is more unique
Cognitive.
to human beings who have a more highly developed nervous system. Is that kind of what you were suggesting?
Also, and
I'm
also
sure it
that
wasn't, but
intuition maybe is a conglomerate of all your experience.
Yeah. So memory is involved, right?
All
Vibrations
sources,
are involved. Yeah.
visual and intellectual, etc.
Okay. Let me ask you further, comparing ourselves to animals. Often, who has more highly developed instinct?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
For example, when the winter is about to be cold, we don't know that, right? We guess. Farmer's Almanac is telling us, right? But often animals sense that. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Like farmers' stories. The people who were living close to the land would watch the animals. Any particular behavior that they exhibited when it was getting cold?
And a squirrel will make a nest. Right?
Squirrel makes nest.
Make a nest higher
Higher,
more snow.
more snow.
Yeah.
Very good, right? Isn't it? Lower the more mild winter. Very good.
They say that fall, there's a squirrel, and they thought this year was lots of snow.
Yeah. So in the old days, the farmers were paying close attention, right? They were watching them.
I'm wondering if humans don't have a more highly developed ability for that, but we have buried it.
Yeah.
So it's not having it, it's having access to it.
Yeah, or dulling it.
Dulling it.
Yeah,
being
very
able to
good,
use it.
right? So what Rich Myers was talking about yesterday, right? That electronic waves and pulses are clouding it. Because we know our instinct means our contact with what? Nature. So I tell the famous story once I was taking the ferry across from Connecticut, across Long Island Sound to Long Island. It's about a 2-hour beautiful ride across Long Island Sound. Beautiful sunny day. I was ecstatic. I was on my way to give seminars out in Montauk. Very exciting, right? The ocean. Right? And young family came on board the ferry. And it was a young couple with 2 young teenage kids, right? I think they were European. They were visiting. So the parents sat down. I was sitting there in the reception area. Wow. Just marveling how beautiful the ocean, the waves, the sun, the salt, iodine and sodium. How wonderful that was. Just, the 2 kids didn't take their eyes off once from their iPhones.
Oh, no.
The whole time.
Oh, no.
They could have cared less. So this, like Rich Myers was talking, contact with all these electronic devices, right? May be breaking our contact with the natural world. What do you think? And then how about diet, Gretchen? How is that severing our contact?
Why did you point to one of the most overweight people in the world?
No, because you've been studying macrobiotics for many years. You should know
Yes,
that.
obviously, I think things, you can block all different parts of your body, so, your brain is getting blocked and your ability to respond to things is becoming distracted
Yeah. And dulled.
and dull.
Okay, insensitized, right? These require sensitivity, right? You're a receiving machine to vibration. And certain foods are enhancing that, for example, whole grain with the ons, right? And other foods like dairy food, cheese, are dulling that. Saturated fat is dulling that, clogging your delicate receptors, right, to vibration.
So all the day, you hear the story in Japan. So the older people, let's say the village, he must, the old man must know he was dying. So because he cleaned up his room, and he also got everything organized, and then a couple of days he died.
Yeah,
So
they know.
many
Yeah,
things
yeah.
you hear, so they have an intuition, they know when you're going to die.
Yeah, human beings should have highly developed, right? Point is this, I'd like you, between now and next year, conference, please, using the internet or whatever. Sorry. Check the examples of animal instinct. Even ESP, what we call extrasensory perception, the ability to perceive future, like earthquake, for example, right? Or even the elephants that perceived the famous story, the tsunami, right? They escaped before the tsunami hit. Did you know that?
No.
Please check these many stories. They're astonishing.
Yeah,
Astonishing.
mice, before earthquake, mice go away.
Okay, yeah. All right, so let's figure out then, what are these things? So let's use our macrobiotic understanding, right? So we have the earth and heaven. Heaven and earth. Heaven's energy, including the sun, stars, moon, etc., is showering down and into the surface of the earth. Okay? From the universe, ultimately. And the earth is rotating and spinning and giving out the outgoing, back out force, going back out force. So in the old Chinese and also macrobiotic parlance we borrowed from them, we call that heaven's downward energy yang. I'll use this great pyramid. And we call Earth's expanding energy yin. Okay? Within that. Okay? These two energies and environments are the source of both intuition and instinct. Okay? So one of them is more closely attuned with the universe and cosmos. And the other is very much sensitive to the earth and its immediate environment on the earth, including weather, etc., things like that, right? Or even relations with each other. Okay? So which is which? Which is more from the cosmos? Which is more from heaven? Which is more from the earth, immediate earth environment? Intuition or instinct? Which is which? Do you think?
Instinct is more associated with earth.
Good.
Intuition.
Good. Yeah. So this earth, immediate environment, day-to-day movement, day-to-day change, day-to-day interaction, this is more the instinct. So you can also say nature, right? Immediate nature. That's the planet, right? And animals are very in touch with that. This is more heaven's energy, cosmic energy, more intuition. In other words, the source of this is the universe itself, much broader. Okay? So let's see in our human body how these are processed or created. And to see that, let's go back and see the structure of our form in the embryonic period. We start out like this. Two huge spirals. Okay, upper and lower. Okay. Yin and yang. So one of these spirals goes on to develop in a more yang direction. That means from the periphery becoming more and more contracted toward the center, winding inward. And we call this the nervous system. Nervous system. So being very young and compact, brain is one of the most dense, if not the most dense structure in the universe. Right? What kind of energy, what kind of vibration, what kind of food is being processed here? More yin or more yang? Don't forget, this is very dense. So it does what? Yang or yin vibration?
Yang.
No. What's the relation? Like things do what to each other? Two yangs do what?
Okay.
You ever watch Planet Earth on Netflix? Oh, must watch for all macrobiotic students.
Don't have a TV.
Must watch. You learn
Opposite attract.
opposites attract. Good. You see the many carnivorous animals on this show. You know, they follow them around with amazing drone photography. Did you know this? Like never before.
Oh, really? Wow.
Amazing. And those carnivorous animals basically spend their time doing two things. Fighting over food
And eating.
with each other. Like doing what? Repelling, right? Or two males are doing what for the one female? Like us? Are we like that too? I know. Can you see? Like is repelling. Opposites are doing what? Opposite factors. For example, us and the world of plants. Attract, symbiosis. Not only for food do we use them, but we also use them for what? It's a totally codependent relationship with the plant world. This is, right, opposites, right? Plants and animals are opposites. So this is processing very fine vibration, more in, from the cosmos, from heaven. And we say, right, that this is yang because coming in, right? But the structure of that is highly diffuse, highly in, coming in. Nervous system, okay? Opposite spiral. This begins by coming in like this, right? Isn't it? From the mother's the placenta, right? Isn't it? Mm-hmm. Umbilical cord. And then from there starts to go the opposite way, out. From the central part, out. So from the center out, is that yin or yang? That movement, that development. Yin, expansive, right? Good. So that is totally opposite and complementary to that, to the top spiral, this lower spiral. And this spiral eventually becomes what system? Which is complementary to the nervous system. We call what?
Circulatory?
Digestive system.
Oh.
This is the center of the small intestine, actually. So eventually, initially coming in directly and then coming in through the mouth. Once we're born, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
So this is the digestive tract, digestive system, the center of which is the small intestine, so-called heart, which we'll discuss in a minute. And being more expansive, isn't it? Can you see? This is very compact. This is very expanded, right? What type of vibration or material or whatever does this process compared to this? Very fine vibration, including 5 senses and beyond, okay? For example, like light, when you look at the sunlight, or you look at stars, what are you processing, actually? What is that? Waves. Particle waves, right? Isn't it? Not physical. Same thing, sound. What is sound? Waves through the air. Isn't it? You can't see it. By the way, which is faster? Light or sound?
Light.
Light is infinitely practically faster, right? So like David Rubin is a baseball fan. But David Rubin is always please say hi, David.
Hello.
He's always very astute about controlling his budget. So when he goes to see his home team, the Baltimore Orioles, that wonderful Camden Yards.
Well, actually, I control my budget by not going to see them.
Oh, let's go next year. He does several things. First of all, he buys the least expensive seats, which are all the way up in the bleacher, right?
No, I buy the standing room.
And then he also eats macrobiotically at the ballpark by ordering a hot dog with sauerkraut and asking the vendor to hold the hot dog.
Hot dog.
And he has a wonderful sauerkraut and mustard. He's thinking according to the 5 transformations. This is good for my liver. This is something like that, right?
What about the bread? Is that good for?
I request they steam the bread.
Yeah, and the bread is actually not good, but because he chews it 300 times, he transmutes it into healthy food. All right, and he's setting an example for all of the citizens of the city of Baltimore. All right, but when he's sitting in his bleacher seats far away from home plate, his favorite batter comes up to the plate and hits the ball with a wooden bat. So what is the first response that David picks up, or all of us pick up? We see it, isn't it? We see, even though tiny, right? We see, and then a fraction of a second later, what comes?
Sound.
Cat, right? Isn't that wonderful sound? Wooden bat sound, right? Very primordial sound, right? But afterwards, how about lightning and thunder? What's the old rule? To see how far away the lightning is, right? What is that rule? You count what?
Count a second, multiply 340
Yeah.
meters.
So you see the crack, right? The beautiful fractal, and then 1, 2, right? 3, boom, isn't it? And if they're at the same time, better take shelter, right? Isn't it? That's the old guideline for that, right?
If it's super bright, really.
So light, instant, sound, slower. But nevertheless, right, at the same time, these are all vibration. Compared to this system, digestive, lower system, what is it processing? The solid, so-called material food, mineral, protein, fat, okay, carbohydrate, and in the case of the large intestine, water, absorbed, right? So the food that this system eats is more yang, solid, material, from the earth, right? Can you see? Originating from the earth, vegetable world, mineral world, water, isn't it? This is purely vibration.
Don't forget that the smell of the vibration too.
Yeah. A little higher up. Smell is actually part physical because particles are coming through the air. Yeah. Okay. Not like light, which is purely like vibration, more refined. And vibration beyond that, and that's what we call our intuition. Vibration that we can't see, right? We sense. That is our intuition. Coming from where? What is guiding your intuition? Is it you internally or what? Do you know this? The universe is God. Nature is God. Okay? So that means, right, our instinct is very tied in with our environment on Earth immediately, especially and including what we take in every day in the form of food. And our intuition is this larger vibrational context, including the five senses and beyond. Okay? Beyond. Now, we should know both of these spirals. By the way, in between, before I say that, in between is the so-called circulatory spiral, unifying both of these, right? Blood and circulation. Heart and circulation. In between. Balancing these two, which we'll see in a minute. That's a very important function. All right? Both of these systems actually have, if you will, nervous systems. Did you know this? Mm-hmm. One more yin, the other more yang. This one, the upper one, brain and central nerve, is highly yang, compact. Central nerve, brain and spinal cord. Did you know that there's this nervous system here too? Very recently has been the research, more and more. What is this called?
Sacral parasympathetic
Yeah,
system.
enteric nervous system. In other words, neurons are lining the entire digestive system and very concentrated in the small intestine. Did you know there's a complete sensory nervous system separate from this? Parallel to this upper one? Did you know this, guys? This is very important. We know this intuitively. Don't we know this? It's enshrined in our language. I have a what feeling? Gut feeling. I feel it in my gut. Even though I can't explain it, I've got a gut feeling he's not the right guy for me. Even though he's making $500,000 a year, he drives a BMW, but something in my, right? All logic says yes, but something no.
So it must be an instinct.
More instinctual, exactly. Right? Okay. So this nervous system is also there, okay? And I want you to go online and start to research enteric nervous system. And it's very interesting that they've just discovered this. Yes, Rob?
There's also a sympathetic nervous system?
Well, there's the autonomic nerve, which is sympathetic and sympathetic and parasympathetic, which is also below, somewhat below the conscious system. That's more tied in with this one, brain and nervous system. And that is also governing. What is that autonomic system governing? This is very important.
Once you're breathing, all the natural processes
Automatic functions, okay?
out of your control.
Let me use the familiar example. So Rob, you drove up, right, from New York, from Hudson Valley, right? Rob drove up in his, 2018 Mercedes, right?
No.
And Rob got in on the way up that morning. He got into the comfortable real leather driver's seat. No, I'm joking. What did he do? He got in his car and what did he do?
Ignition.
Put the key in and then turned it. And at that moment, what started? How many moving parts? Do you know? The automobile has
Lots.
1,000. The most is at 747. The jetliner has the most moving parts, right? But did Rob think about at all, like, is the carburetor doing this?
It was
Or
an
the
autopilot.
manifold doing that? He didn't think at all about that. He assumes in his brand new 2018 X-Class, I don't know, Mercedes, that everything is working in perfect order.
Yeah, but you get
German engineering is guaranteeing that. Yes,
you,
Bill?
you get feedback from the sound, and if you're trained, you know which part of the machine.
Yeah, but that's your conscious.
Right, but the both are engaged.
All right, but let's assume that he just had it serviced and it's perfect, humming.
Well, then it's also part of that.
So then that is which system, conscious or autonomic? The car. Those thousands of moving parts, electric circuit, autonomic. You don't think about it, right? Hopefully. What you think about is what?
The time it's gonna take me.
How much pleasure it is to drive that, right? Turn right here. I have my GPS. I have to go up to Taconic, right? The beautiful sun. Let's see, rest up. I think I'll just go in for coffee. The Surrey, put on Mozart, right? All of that, right? Isn't it? That's your consciousness. When I get there, it's going to be great. I'm going to be able to listen to the Ed's lecture and eat Bettina's cooking, right? That kind of thing, right? Yes, please.
I hate to put a perforation into
Oh,
your,
no.
your
Mercedes
theory,
broke down.
but you still have a governing process above that that recognizes if there's been a problem or not, or if it's functioning properly, and that is the sound. I'm sorry, but in the winter when you start your car, if you're attuned
She's
to
obviously had
this,
a lot of car trouble.
absolutely, I've always bought used cars, and that's a survival technique. It's part of it's an instinct, I guess, if it's a survival technique. And you can tell when your car's ready to start driving it. You don't drive it when it's stone cold.
Okay. But that's your conscious system having some effect.
Yeah.
Same thing, our conscious system has a big effect over our autonomic system.
Yeah.
And again, autonomic is more which? Instinct or intuitive? Instinctual. And animals have highly developed autonomic instinctual functions because their consciousness is not as developed. They haven't clouded it over. And how are they living compared to us?
Instinct.
In nature. Right? In nature. They're not living in the total air conditioning. They're not living in central heating. Isn't it? Like Florida.
It's living normal.
Yeah, and when it's cold, they are experiencing that. How are they eating? Natural food. Whatever's their niche, they're eating, right? Not adulterated, not processed. Yes,
Yeah.
please. Hi, David. Yeah.
An animal always knows what to eat.
Yeah.
That's not poisonous. That is not going to poison them.
Yeah.
They
And
always
they
know
know
what
this.
to eat.
Yeah.
Humans, they're still figuring it out.
That's right.
They have to
You know what Micho used to say? We had the KI, Kushi Institute up in Beckett, 600-acre mountaintop property. Woods, fields, forests were there, and the buildings were there, a small part of it. And many deer lived there, and occasional bears would appear, and all kinds of nice wildlife. Here too. And Micho said, in all the years we've been here, teaching, cooking, teaching, standard diet, he would joke, not once did any of the local deer come up and say, teach me what to eat. Only people are coming. It's true. Hilarious. No deer ever came up, Micho, help me. Right?
So, Ed, to continue the instinct versus, learned behavior versus natural, I would also posit that you have to have a good instinct, or you develop it, or you're not going to survive in New York City.
Of course.
If you're in the jungle,
Of
think
course.
of it as
That's a jungle,
it's
just like-
it's a natural environment.
Well, among our instincts, the most powerful one is what?
Fear?
Survival instinct, so that we survive in order to enjoy consciousness. Same thing, autonomic system is functioning. It's the platform upon which we enjoy this very special human consciousness, right? So that platform is there. I mean, that survival in New York City is very much acute.
Yeah, you have a second sense.
But you have
of
to
something.
learn certain skills there, right? Certain things which are a little different than what appears in nature.
Well,
Principles are the same.
No, they're the same. Your hearing, for instance, is important. If you're walking on a dark street at night, you can tell somebody's following you or not.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's not even by sound, you sort of feel it.
Very good. Marie's going to give a class next summer conference. Survival in Manhattan.
No.
How I survived Manhattan.
That's a wish. What do you call a wish? That's what kind of behavior is that? Wishful thinking?
Oh, yeah? All right, let's take a look now. Next. Again, further explain how these chakras appear. How many do we have? The official count is what? 7, right? I'm now saying 9, but I'll explain that's in the future. two outside the body. All right, 7 chakras. And this chakra line, as we studied on Monday, is unified, heaven and earth, vertically. And then from there we have meridians coming up like pumpkin ridges, which are more our horizontal connection with the cosmos. You know, like 12 constellations, for example, around the equator. All right? And, right, again, our instinct is more seated in these upper chakras. Especially this, what? 6th chakra. They count from the bottom up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 is the top. Especially the so-called midbrain, center of the brain and central nervous system. Very young, right? And as we saw, as we explained, our intuition, no, instinct, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. This should say intuition. Intuition is the upper chakra. Intuition is upper chakra, instinct is lower chakra. Good. And instinct is centered around so-called hara, the hara chakra. Hara. This is midbrain. Intuition is midbrain. Good. By the way, using basic yin and yang, environmental influence here, especially like temperature, is very important. Did you know? And they're opposite. One of these is developed and tonified by cold, like cold winter. The other is best supported by keeping warm. Which is which? Use yin and yang. Cold makes expansion or contraction. So which of these two? Midbrain. This cold. Midbrain. So cold weather is good for this. This, being yin, is supported by warmth. Hara. The small intestine, warmth. Did you notice this was understood intuitively and around the world? So is David going to do a demo on this?
No.
I asked Amy. Did you meet Amy from the Health Goods? She's our level 4. She has the online store in Nashville. Very wonderful macrobiotic products. I asked her to find these products. This is called a haramaki. Haramaki. Have you ever heard this term maki before? Have you ever eaten in a Japanese restaurant?
Yeah.
Did you ever order a nori maki?
Yes.
What is the word maki? See, what is it? Here we go.
Roll, right?
Huh?
A roll.
Wrap.
Wrap.
Nori wrap. Wrapped in nori. Hara, nori maki. Hara, small intestine chakra. Maki. So who would like to demo this? Maybe Mari, come up and show everyone. This is a very chic, the version, but traditionally they were very simple. The cotton wrap to wear around your abdomen to keep this chakra warm.
That's a long one, right? Is that-
Yeah, this is wrong.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
have,
like a tube.
Does it
yeah, I
stretch?
have a short.
You fold it in
No,
half.
Oh,
probably.
you can fold it in half. Okay.
Yeah.
There's different types.
So Amy brought these up for you.
Kinda tight,
I asked her,
yes,
bring
yeah,
them for our
very
guys at summer conference, right?
Oh my
They
God.
should know this. Not only is it
Is
protecting,
it supposed to be a girdle or what?
I don't know, I
It
didn't
makes
find
it
it.
cummerbund.
Very small.
Yeah, you probably want like a kind of.
I have a cheap flannel one.
Yeah, the price is not right.
Mine is the Walmart version of it. This is the Neiman Marcus version.
I think
Okay.
How's that?
Oh, it's a core warmer. Look at that.
Look
Do you
at that.
feel warmer?
Not only her hara, but what else? Vital thing needs to be kept warm.
Back.
Kidney.
Oh.
Kidney is very sensitive to cold, so you raise it just a little bit to cover her kidney.
Oh, very nice. You know,
This is so important in the cold weather. How many of you guys are living in a cold? winter.
Yes.
Okay, then absolute must have.
Well, it looks like part of a Japanese garment, you know, dressing.
Yeah, I mean, but
They
not just
have these
Asian people. I
belts.
can remember.
When I was a kid,
Grandparents
I
used to
wear
wrap
that.
flannel around their abdomen in the
Wear it
winter.
all the time.
Yeah.
There,
Like,
right?
kids, parents let kids wear this, you know, so that they don't have any.
Around
Keep
their
this
middle.
Yeah.
warm, guys. Don't expose this to cold.
And
See?
also,
Haramaki.
woman is pregnant.
Yeah.
Especially woman needs to keep this warm,
Which is
even more
a
than that.
much bigger one.
I thought it was to hold it up.
Yeah, bigger.
Yes, Dave.
I highly recommend those things. I wear one even when I'm inside
Oh,
in the
yeah.
winter.
You have one now?
They, it's the summer right now.
Can I take a picture?
I wear them.
Yeah, I want-
Amy
But-
Hopewell, who's here,
Just because,
makes them
Yeah,
different
take-
colors and so
Yeah.
forth. She gets them. I recommend it.
but what we wear is like, you know, with knitting,
Yeah.
things like that.
That's right, the
Yeah.
air gets through that.
Mhm. Or,
And also
Like,
with
kind of like, you know,
sleeves.
like long johns type of material,
Yeah.
often they're made from that.
Yeah, but what's
Yeah.
interesting about this is there's no sleeves on it. See, we either wear trousers or something with sleeves, and we think that keeps us warm.
No, you missed the point.
Yeah.
This is gathering
Yeah.
from her whole body of circulation toward this. Do you see? By just
Yeah,
wrapping this
yeah.
area. Okay?
It should be adopted for skiing,
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
There's no garment like that.
So
for
guys,
skiing.
they're here. Okay? They're
Okay.
here. Please take advantage.
Yeah,
I
well,
made
actually,
you.
my mother always had
Yeah.
a,
Do you wanna
Is there
tell
a point to
them?
it being so snug?
Yes, this should be kept firm.
Okay.
Well, it also increases your circulation.
You know, like
Think
American
of
guys
compressions.
especially, right? This is ridiculous, right? This, right?
Yeah.
This is a symbol of our modern
But this is,
losing track.
the tightness is what generates the heat. It works like compression socks. You
That's
know,
right.
It
Very
works on your circulation. When you bend down and so forth, you're activating you're pumping your blood with every movement. So-
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Isn't she fabulous with this?
But my mother always had cold feet, so I bought her things like this, and she feels so warm. all the
This
time.
year is this. Next year we'll introduce these Meridian socks, okay? This is a little too advanced for today.
Yeah, but how about the price? You wanna tell me that?
Is that good for lower back?
Yes, like a brace, gentle brace. You know, the kind they sell in Rite Aid or, you know, kind of, this is very gentle cut. All right, good.
Yeah, Ed,
Yes, please.
what I was gonna say before is, I've always noticed, read about and so forth, about how the greatest inventions, the greatest ideas, the great advances have the vast majority of them have come from human beings who live in cold areas. The most advanced countries, Russia, the United States, cold areas,
Yeah.
because their intuition
Yeah.
is more taken care of and
Very good.
supported by cold areas.
And also, there's another factor, David. Closer to the North Pole.
Oh, the energy?
Tell us
North
about-
Pole
tell us
energy.
about
Well,
that.
that's the whole topic, but just for now, the North Pole energy is highly charged with the strongest cosmic force. However, if you go too far north, then all of your energy goes into survival. So there's a zone in between we call the temperate zone. Like here, where you have cold winter and then mild summer. That is the area of maximum adaptability, maximum range. Because both of those, upper and lower, are being nourished. Warm and cold, right?
Yeah.
Not just one way. And if you go down to the equator, it's too relaxed.
Yeah, very few famous.
Well, there's not much
inventions.
motive.
Exactly.
You know, we don't have to stack firewood.
Yeah, but what you mentioned before about the cold being supportive of the nervous system is exactly what that is.
So that's why when we sleep at night, we keep our head exposed.
Yeah.
Cool, right? Cool.
Yeah.
Somebody said winter time is good for your Alzheimer.
Alzheimer's.
Cold weather good for
Yeah, that's good for study also. That's why our
Yeah.
fall semesters are always very sharp.
But if you analyze every country, you'll find that the most highly developed, most manufacturing, financial centers and so forth are in the northern part of the country. Take Italy, for instance. Milan is a financial center. You take the U.S., the Northeast is the financial sector, and the manufacturing actually evolved in New England. The cotton was transported from the south to the north to be woven and carded, woven. The whole processing was developed and.
I really hope, by the way, this is fascinating stuff. David brings up a very interesting point. I really hope you guys will study with us online because we go into this in depth.
Can I say something about that?
Yes.
Those of you who have not done the levels, that they used to have at the Kushi Institute and so forth, Ed brilliantly has put that all online now in his International Macrobiotic Institute. By the way, he's not paying me to say this right now, okay? But I. And I found it fascinating. I did level 1, level 2, and I learned more in a few months than I learned at all of the events at this thing. I highly recommend it. It's very affordable. There's a brochure he's handing out on it, but I highly recommend it. And you don't have to leave your kitchen. You can be in your pajamas, whatever. It's only a couple hours.
Hopefully in a cool room, so your brain is
I'm
working.
sold. I'm gonna do level 4. I can't take it anymore. I'm signing up.
She knows.
I've been to Kushi. I love it. It's
Refresher, Carol. I mean, really.
4.
And we delve into all of these things, like what David was talking about. Like why is a cold climate civilization
Oh,
or in a temperate zone? Why is that the zone of maximum civilization versus the polar or the equator? Because of yin and yang.
you're so interesting.
Very simple,
It is.
right? And food, right? So
So
once we get above a certain north zone, north is also
So
part
I
of that.
don't know how you did this, the count was perfect.
See?
To the people that can't see, they're sitting.
See, the count was perfect, so that means this is good, right?
they're not. They're 2 different.
Oh no, sorry, a little off. That's because I had coffee. I had coffee and this became expanded. All right, now, all right. Beside our macrobiotic lifestyle, which is our fundamental way of polishing our intuition and instincts, right? We know that. Good eating, reasonable volume of food, isn't it? Orderly eating, activity, keeping clean, natural environment, isn't it? In our home, etc. Being out in nature. That is the foundation. But we can also use direct energy to stimulate and activate these vital functions. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. Someone had a question? Yes, Nora.
So you keep the Hara area covered, right?
Yeah.
For instance. But
Especially in Toronto. Or in air conditioning in Abu Dhabi.
what is it?
Air conditioning. Where you live in Abu Dhabi.
Right.
Cold, right? Inside.
Yeah, all the time.
Keep covered.
Okay. So, but if you look at the old costumes in the past, they all had some sort of wrapper then, right?
Yeah.
But they also had some sort of hat cover as well.
Yeah.
Hat cover.
Where?
Like in the old traditional costumes.
Yeah, either to keep direct sun from making this too hot, right? In one case. Or in extreme cold, like Alex's hat yesterday, right? The Russian hat, because it's too cold. Okay, so there's a point of balance that you want to stay within, but an extreme that you want to then counteract, right?
And you have to protect the ears too.
Yeah, okay? Or in the hot where you live, it's such amazing sun, you have to protect. Okay? By the way, when I left Dubai, one of the students gave me the traditional head covering.
Yeah.
Is it okay to wear that?
Yeah.
Okay, because maybe I'll wear it at the gala.
Is that the thing you were wearing last night?
No.
No, that was the hazmat suit.
Did you get the full dress too or no?
No, just the top.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so vibration. This next point, guys, is so important. Because we live in a world of vibration. And as we all know, sound, speech, music, right? Natural sounds, all of that is vibration, and all of that has a different effect on us, right? So last night's the wonderful performance, right? She was great, right? Very relaxing opening, right? She was what, oboe? Playing the oboe?
Yes, yes.
Beautiful, right? Or nearby here is Tanglewood Music Festival. So we try to go once or twice every summer to hear our favorite composer, who's Mozart. Even 10 seconds of Mozart. Right? The universe is in order. But some people like the heavy metal or rap music. What kind of effect? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can see the vibration is having a profound effect. And speech is an amazing manifestation of that. Certain speech makes us relax, certain speech makes us happy, certain speech makes us unhappy, certain speech makes us act crazy, right, isn't it? Or act well, properly. Very powerful. So we understand in macrobiotics how the basic sounds can be understood in terms of yin and yang. All right? Within our basic table of sound. Okay, so let's take the most expanded of our sounds. We can call this the God sound. The word God itself is based on that sound. What is that? Same thing, Allah, Yahweh, Brahman. What is that sound?
Yin.
Aman, God, Allah, right? So among our sounds,
It's also the sound of pain.
oh yeah? Pleasure is the most expansive. Right? Can you see? And we're going to test that in a minute. Opposite to them, closed. This is very open. We say Eve. We say this is the sound of infinity, right? Even outside our relative world. Infinity or God. That's what they call God. Allah, Yahweh, right? Opposite to that is the most closed sound. So try that. Can you see? Right? Yin, yang, right? Can you see that?
Is that where amen comes from?
Beautiful. Everything comes from this. Then in
Also,
between, we have the sound ooh, Can you see? Yin in between yang, right? Can you see that, guys? So this, right? This sound, actually, they call sacred sound, became om, right? Actually is the description, actually in the Bible, book of Genesis, from the universe, infinite universe, through vibrational universe, day and night, light and dark, to the most condensed form of the universe, which is our human life.
You start yoga sessions up in.
Yeah, okay. The origin of Aum is Aum, telling the creation of the universe. We are this is us, within this. Okay? So we say, human. Do you understand? Small, but infinite small, right? Can you see that? Also, I. E. E is here. Secondary sound. E. E is also a close sound. E. E. So we say, I am. I, from universe here, am. I exist from the universe, right? What do you think? Amazing, right? There's so many things we can discover on this sound And as we've seen, open, in between, closed, right? So that means these respective sounds are vibrating the respective chakras and regions according to this the compatibility. All right? Or we can say harmonic resonance. Resonance. So the sound is vibrating where, do you think? More lower chakra or more upper chakra? Open or closed?
Closed.
That means yin or yang.
Yeah.
Yang. That means which of these? Digestive or nervous? This. This, right? This is Okay? Close. Ah. Must be what? It's most open. Most lower chakra. Ah. Lower. And then in between is right? So not only, right, is that sound repeating the creation of the universe, right? From the infinite to this world. Our manifestation from infinity. Affirming that. By the way, when you do the sound, you're reaffirming you are the manifestation of the infinite universe. That is your true identity. There's no separation. This is the infinite universe manifested, not somewhere else. You're affirming that, but at the same time, you're vibrating these respective centers. You are activating with the sound, your instinct or intuition? Intuition. Instinct. Is instinct. Is your intuition. Can you see that? Your enteric nervous system is more your central nervous system. Try that. Can you see? And then is the transition in between. Yes, Dave.
Could this relate, if you know anything about the study of linguistics and how people speak and the sounds and where they come from? In linguistics, it's the study of how an infant, the first sounds they make, and of course, an infant is very young.
That's right.
So, how would this relate to the sounds that an infant first makes coming from a young being?
What's the first words worldwide?
Dada or something.
Mama. For him, maybe.
I'm biased.
He modified that, right, when his kids came up. But mama. So Micho would always tell, very funny, ma is ma, right? So what is the newborn? It doesn't matter what language, every part of the world, right? Mama, right? Isn't it? So what are they actually saying? In reality, I'm here now. I'm the most young, condensed, right? I exist now, human being. I'm beginning what? I'm beginning my return journey to infinity. That is the moment we begin our return to that infinite universe. Mama.
So it's like.
So Micho would say, he was very strict in a way, but humorous. He would say, yes, that first word of newborn is mama. But he would say, but very sentimental mother thinks he's talking about me.
Right.
Yeah, maybe so, right? We're not going to say no. But I'm setting out on my return journey.
Well, there's another aspect to this.
Yes.
Another aperture.
Of course there.
It has to do with the physical aspect of producing sound, which is the mouth, right? And the bilabial, using both lips to produce a sound, is the last skill that's mastered by anyone, speaking. That's not the easiest. It's not the easiest sound to make. I guess naturally you could make it once, but to do ma, that means to have control of both lips at the same time.
So David, when he was recording the diary, what, firstborn was his daughter? Son, daughter?
What?
Your firstborn, son or daughter?
Well, I had twins.
Twins. Okay, they both were saying no. So he was keeping a diary. So he scratched out the M and wrote D. Yes, Rob.
Well, I have a daughter, and my husband has helped me raise her, and so she uses dada and da. But certainly, we heard, you know, and talking about food and things like that.
Yeah, especially as a newborn.
Right.
Yeah. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. Okay. All right. What time is it? What time do we have?
10:06.
10 what? Oh, good, good. All right, good. So then what I'd like to do now with you is have us together practice that vibrating and energizing the chakra line by using these basic sounds, right? Okay? And please know that when we use the ah sound, we are harmonizing our lower chakra, so-called hara chakra, and strengthening our instinct, including the instinctive ability to recognize and judge which foods are helping and which foods are harming. In other words, as I told you, our most powerful instinct is the instinct for survival. Okay? So when you, now, right, because you've been eating grains and vegetables, right, for a while, when you go into the supermarket to buy kale, right, from the organic section, right, isn't it? And you walk past the meat counter, and everything's on display.
You want us to keep walking?
What is your instinctive reaction? Dive in or make a get out of there quick? Or like don't even look. Right?
Don't even go through it.
Yeah, okay, right. Avoid it. That's even much better instinct.
Nausea.
Okay? So that means, right, that your instinctive response is no. Isn't it? But when you see fresh organic kale, what is your instinctive response? Isn't it? Or like when you see a field of grain, like Christian showed, right? Rice. Instinctively, I am home now. This is the earth and heaven. This is the way it should be. This is where I belong, right? Instinctive. So that is your survival instinct. Okay? Then when you do the sound, your intuition, your tuning with the cosmos is being strengthened. So what you can say is this: when you do this sound, something like a violin, out of tune, because of previous eating, isn't it? Previous the environments, the electronic vibration, right? Chaos in society, right? Out of tune. When you sit properly and do this sound, you are actually bringing your intuition and instinct through this line of chakras into alignment with the heaven and earth. Like tuning. So beautiful the Mozart piece can come out, right? Isn't it? Tuning it. That's what this is all about. Okay? So your instinct and intuition. And of course, your diet of whole grain is the base, is the foundation, the biological foundation. Okay? So should we do it?
Mm-hmm.
Should we try? All right, so let's first of all, the first key element in doing this is to make our posture good. So let's put our feet flat on the floor. about a little bit separate, about this, maybe this two fists separate, right? And keep relaxed, right? And then let's make our spine straight. This is the crucial point. Why is that crucial? Keeping vertical, straight posture. Unbroken. Heaven and earth, right flow. And if you watch the nature show, you'll see we're the only ones in nature that have that. Even the people say, well, how about penguin? You ever see a penguin? The head is bent over like this. Even though they're walking, right? They're not like us, right, at all. No other creature has this beautiful vertical stance, right? Heaven and earth. So to do that, let's do a very simple exercise. Stretch, 1. Toward the universe, then look up, 2. Then straight ahead, 3. And then lower, 4. Ah, doesn't that feel better already? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? How was that? How do you feel? Tell me.
Good.
Good. All right. Now for this sound, let's put our hands in a relaxed position. And keeping our arms and keeping our shoulders and elbows relaxed. And let's harmonize our right and left hands with heaven and earth. So which of our hands, right or left, arms, right or left, which one is representing Earth's rising up force? Which one is representing heaven's showering down force? Which is which? Left or right? Do you know?
Right.
Is which? Which one is mother? Which one is father? Which one is hi? How are you?
Right. Right is yin.
This is yin. Okay? This is Earth's force. And by the way, when a little bit later we have time, we'll look at seeing the lines on the hands, because they show us the systems, these spirals. Right side is mother, left side is father. Very interesting. So that means to harmonize, our right hand should be on the earth coming up. And our left hand should be on top of that, coming down. Can you see that? And then we should touch our thumbs to make a circuit between left and right, which is actually a vertical circuit between heaven. Okay. Doesn't that feel good? What do you think, guys? Huh? Already we've achieved a state of exaltation and unparalleled enlightenment just by being able to sit in this posture. All right, so this is number 2, posture. Okay. All right. Then breathing. Let's do very simple, the normal breathing, just to quiet ourselves down. Okay. And as much as possible, try to shut out the extraneous sound, vibration, or even thoughts. Try to calm your thinking and thoughts down. Try to center yourself in that very peaceful, quiet zone. Nora just yawned, so please don't fall asleep. Okay. The Zen master would come around with a stick, you know that? And if he caught a disciple sleeping, whack.
What about the feet?
We don't do that here. Feet are up flat on the floor.
Oh yeah, I feel a need to cross.
That's okay
Yeah.
if that's tough.
No,
That's
no,
okay.
no.
Don't worry.
Would you cross your fingers?
No, finger like this. Just
Oh,
very
would
simple.
this be a problem if you cross it?
You can do the mudras, but for now, let's keep it very simple. Now, the breathing, the most grounded breathing, did you know, is not from the chest, but more from where? More from the abdomen. So when we do that, we generate more power, right? And also we hone and refine and polish our instinct, right? Our adaptability to our immediate environment. So let's try slowly breathing in, and as you do, let your abdomen expand slowly in, slowly out. drawn out breath, right? Slowly in. And slowly out. You can keep your mouth slightly open, that's also fine. Slowly in. And slowly out. Let's continue several more times. Already you should be energized. All right, now I'm going to add these sounds. I'll do it once or twice, and then on the second or third time, please join in, okay? Meanwhile, just follow along with the deep breathing. Slowly in. Slowly out. Slowly in. Slowly out. Please listen. Please join in. Breathe in. Let's continue. Once more, please. Just sit quietly, keeping an empty mind. Let your breathing go back to normal, natural breathing, that's fine. And start to relax. Very good. Slowly open your eyes and return to normal. Who feels good? Me. Wonderful. Wasn't that great? That is the essence of tuning your entire chakra line with heaven and earth, the universe, nature, and strengthening your instinct and your intuition. Isn't that simple but profound and wonderful? What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So before we close, I want to share just one or two quick things with you. Please see your palms. Palms. And you notice three major lines in the palm. Please check out. Please see, right? Believe it or not, these are corresponding to these three major spirals. digestive, nervous, and circulatory. So therefore you can see, by looking at the palm, what kind of constitutional strength is there in those three major systems, and also in their corresponding
Is it the left or the right?
both. And as I told you, the right side shows more your mother's influence to your constitution. Not only mother, but her entire lineage. And your left is your father, his influence to your constitution, and also his lineage. Okay, so there's always a difference, not exactly the same, right? We're not perfectly symmetrical at all, as we know. But hopefully, the lines are not so different, right? Kind of matching. So of these lines, let's say A, B, C, right? Which one is corresponding to the Hara chakra, our instinct, our digestive system, our enteric nervous system? Which of those three lines is showing more? Do you know? A, B, or C. We call it often, what? There's a name for it, common name for it. We call it lifeline. Which is that, A, B, or C? A. A, good. So this is digestive. Here, right? And if this line is deep, clear, hopefully long,
Unbroken.
going to, very good. What?
Unbroken.
Unbroken. And extending down to the wrist,
Yeah.
even, in a good, fortunate case.
Yeah, is that good?
It's not so
Very good.
What if you have one of each?
Then good. Then you have a very interesting life. If so, that means you were born constitutionally with strong digestive system, strong gut feelings, instinct, right? Can you understand? Instinctual, the reactions, right? Knowing, making the right decisions, right?
Yeah.
Avoiding the meat counter, or at some point graduating from the meat counter. Yes, please.
They're not the same on both hands. They have one shorter on one hand.
Of course, they're not exactly the same.
Which one do I look at?
The best one.
Isn't that true?
A woman should see more which, right or left, mother or father?
I don't know, but I get more left.
Sorry. Woman should see the more her right side.
Because
That's
women
showing
are
her.
always right. Right, Edward?
Yes, man more left side. Did you know it's very interesting, yin and yang? When you're born, when you're first born, you reflect the same or opposite gender parent at birth.
Opposite.
Very good, opposite. So girl, baby girl, is more father. Did you know that? It's very paradoxical.
No, but
Baby boy is more reflecting the mother. Did you know that?
no.
However, they go to their opposite throughout life.
I must have more.
So did you ever hear the middle-aged guys, oh my gosh, I've become my father?
You see it.
Or even more fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a secret. When you were young, back in what, college or high school and dating, and they said, guys, when you go to pick up your date, please go to her house, right? Pick her up. And go in and please take a look at her mother.
Oh, I get it.
And if she's beautiful and wow, okay, yes, green light. But if she's this, with the hairy, the wart curlers, then be a little careful.
It's a deal breaker.
Same thing. Young ladies were advised, better check out his dad. If he's very trim, very smart, good, right? If
Never
he's
heard
sitting on the couch, drinking Bud Light, watching the game on TV, with undershirt, Better be careful. So we start out as the opposite parent, right? Isn't it? And we go towards the like parent. Very interesting, right? So that means in the course of a young woman's life, she's going more and more in the direction of her mother. So that means your right side is the line you should see. And for boys or men, the left side. Very interesting, right? It's so interesting.
Is it possible to have two lifelines?
Oh, you have a double life. We won't ask. We had a suspicion, but now it's confirmed. That means you have a lot of vitality. A lot of, maybe too much. Okay.
Is that possible to have too much?
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So that means, okay, please check this line. And what is macrobiotics in relation to this? Macrobiotics is the art and the ability to take any kind of weakness in our constitution, in our physiognomy, and through good eating, good activity, our way of life, convert that, transmute that, change that into a strength. So even if that line is not perfect, don't worry, you have the power to change that. And often you'll see people with really good constitution. Did you know? They spoil it. They abuse it, and then they destroy that intuition. Very good.
Very short.
Oh yeah? So if you chew well, then more line will grow here. So that means you know, okay, you have to eat well and be good. Okay, then that you can compensate for that.
You can change the line how it looks.
It's very difficult to change the line, but the internal correspondence you change. In other words, you turn us, now you know this is my weakness, I have to work. You turn a weakness into a strength. And time is the factor that does that. Time.
So if you have two, that means you get away with anything?
In your case, yes. As everyone knows this week, right? We know you're getting away. In line B, this is believe it or not, the nervous system. Sometimes it's called the line of the what? Intellect, or head line. So if this line, length is not the issue here, but depth and clarity are important. That line is deep and clear. That means from birth you had the native intuition. Your intuition was correct. All right? So if you had a confirmation, suppose, a gut feeling, suppose it was the year, 1998. Suppose, right? And you were good, right? You had the good line. And somebody came along, your broker, and said, I've heard about this new company called Google. And you can probably get shares for $2. Why not share? Right? Why don't you throw a $2,000 on that? And if your intuition was good, what would you have done?
Yes.
Sorry. If your intuition was bad, what would you have done? I don't think so, right? And then that's now worth, what, $10 million, right? So, she's paying attention. Okay. You understand good intuition, or who you choose as a partner also, right? Very important. Or, as I pointed out, very important is what foods you instinctively select and instinctively avoid. So Patrick and Jean were teaching this cooking yesterday, right? Is that right? According to what? Instinct. Intuition. Not going by a conceptual plan, but what feels appropriate under that situation, right? That weather, your condition, what's in the refrigerator. When you go shopping, how do you do that? Do you have a list that you stick to, or do you just, what looks good?
Do both?
Both, kind of both, yeah, all right? And intuitively, you go outside your list, right? Go outside your box, right?
Too often.
In buying what, the chocolate? Okay.
You can also get to know somebody that way, open their fridge,
Oh.
see
You're
what's
doing-
in there.
You're doing refrigerator diagnosis. That's what the old country doctor would do when he visited the house, right?
Is that right?
He would
I
check
know.
what did they eat.
I know.
How about today's doctor?
They don't come to the
That's
house.
only 15
10
minutes.
pages of blood test, right? Never even sees the patient. Right?
No.
Only 15 minutes.
It's no longer the art that it used to be. Right?
And my wife has to see the doctor at the Peru. They look at everything, right? Doctor look at the eyes and touch it. At the real doctor.
What is that?
And that's you in the future when you take the army course. You become the doctors in the future.
I've also come to the conclusion that you can't live with somebody that you can't eat with. In a restaurant, you go to a restaurant, find something commonality on the menu. But you have to go to 3 restaurants before the person, well, there's nothing I can eat here. You
Yeah.
do that 3 times, same night.
Yeah, otherwise it turns into a complete
It's
circus.
awful, especially if you have a sore ankle and you have to walk around.
So as you can see, by the way, this third line is your heart line, circulatory line. Again, depth and clarity and simplicity is the key here. But as you can see, this area, heart area, is the unifier between our instinct and intuition. Okay? So that is also an area of feeling, which brings this and this together, right? Isn't it? Into one. So this is very much our unifying chakra. Chakra. All right, good. So that is our introduction for today. And in the future, I'd like to explore a lot more with you about this. This is a summary of everything, but we can go in great depth, including diagnosis, including techniques to send and use the energy to heal others. These energies, right? So-called healing by energy, by hands. Right? So in the future, let us study that, either online or here next year also, right? Okay? Great, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So there's more coming. If you're coming to 9 Star Key, if you have your